Hello everyone, welcome back to my 4-Star School YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to make these beautiful task management apps using the Flutter. And this is the final project we're going to make after we finish this tutorial. And the first page is the home page of these task management apps. As you see, we have personal task, work task, and health task. And each class can be clicked. So here I click the personal task, and you will list out we have 3 tasks for today. One is between 9 and 10, the second one is 10 to 12, and the third one is 1 to 2. And this is for our personal task. Actually, when I scroll down, you will see our header will get smaller. You will notice. Here I'm going to use the sleep app bar to implement this effect, right? And we go back to our home page. For this work task, we don't have any, so it will show no task today, right? And also those task lists can be added, but I didn't implement the backend, so those are just hard-coded. But if you have more than 3 tasks, this entire task list can be scrolled because I wrap it inside the expanded widget. And I will show you when I actually implement those tasks. Okay, so that's all for this project demo. Please subscribe to my channel, thumb up my video, and also turn on the notification so you won't miss out the latest Flutter tutorial. If you are new here, feel free to reach out to my channel page. You will find lots of different projects I made in last month, such as the course app, the e-commerce app, and chat apps, and etc. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. First, let's open our terminal and navigate to our workspace. Inside this workspace, we're going to use a Flutter command to create the project for us. So I just hit this Flutter create task app, just hit enter. Wait for a few seconds, we will finished. Okay, so I guess we finished. Then we open our Visual Studio Code. In here, click open folder and find your workspace. In this case, it's our project folder. Right, so we select our project folder. Here, choose the task app. So click this open. And it starts to load our project. We are going to do some project setup. First, we are going to create an assets folder and import our image under this assets folder, and then find this pub spec YAML file. In line 48, we're going to uncomment out these assets and uncomment this out. Going to change this line to assets.images. Remember, we're going to include these slash, which indicates we're going to import the entire images folder. Okay, then hit save. Next, we're going to create some folder under this left folder. The first one is our models folder, and then is our constants folder, also our screens folder. Inside this screen, we have our home screen and detail page screen. Right, for these constants, we're going to have our colors up there, and here I'm going to put some predefined color. So the yellow, we have a light yellow, dark yellow, and also the red line, red, and also red dark. and blue light, blue and blue dot, and hit save, and we can close it. So for our main.dart file, we're going to delete all of them. Okay, so delete those, and here as well. Going to change this Flutter demo to task app. For this homepage, I'm going to create a home.dart and create a stateless widget. I just call it homepage and remove those constructors and import our library and replace this container with our scaffold widget. Change this child to body, and we have this center widget, and we have a text just called home screen. Okay, let's save, and then we're back to our main.dart, and we're going to import our home page, right? This one. So let's save, and next step is open our emulator and hit this run button to install our application in our emulator. So first time it will take a little bit longer, so we just need to wait few minutes, and after it finish. Okay, after a few minutes, we are able to see our home screen show on our emulator. And first I'm going to remove the static bar and also this debug banner. So inside this material app, we have an attribute called debug show checked mode banner. I'm going to set to false, and then inside this build method, we can access this system Chrome to hide our status bar by set its color to transparent. So we're going to use system Chrome set system UI overlay style, and here we're going to pass the system UI overlay style. Right, and we're going to set its status bar color. We set to colors transparent. Okay, let's save, and we hide this status bar and also this debug banner, and we can start from this point. Okay, first open our design file, and for our homepage, we're going to implement this header bar first. And so in our home.dart file, and first we're going to change our background color for this scaffold, and we set this background color to white. And also for this app bar attribute, we're going to use default app bar class default app bar widget provided by Flutter material.dart. And I'm going to set the background color for this app bar to white as well. So I change the background color to colors.white. And also for its elevation, I'm going to set to 0 because I don't want any shadow since this prototype don't have a shadow on its app bar. And then we have the leading, which is this icon, and the title, and also the action. So here I just use title because title will accept a custom widget, right? So I can use a row widget. Inside this row, we have first icon. So I use this container widget, and I set the height to 45, and also width to 45 as well. And for its child, I'm going to use clip drag widget, and then I put the image inside this clip rect a widget because I want this image to have a rounded corner, so we could use like border radius, dot circular, and set to 10. For it is child, I'm going to use image assets, right, and use the image we have assets dot images dot avatar JPEG, and I think that's it. So first we're going to save it, and you see we have our icon shown here, and also I'm going to give it a little margin. So I set margin for this container using edge inset only for left 15. Let's save, and then we can implement the title. So we have a little bit gap between the avatar and title, so I set width to 10 for this size box, and for the text I'm using text widget, and also style it using text style. For text style, and I changed the color to black. By default you have a white color show on our app bar, so I'm going to change it to black, and also font size change to 26, and also font weight I set to bold. So let's save. Okay, now it's good. And the last one is this action. So outside our title, and where is it? Okay, here we're going to set our action, and inside this action I just use the icon which provided by material.dar, and using this small horse. Also the color should be black as well. If you didn't set the color, by default it will be white, so I'm going to set to black. Also size change to 40, so let's save. Okay, I noticed the icon should be vertical, so I change this to vert and save again. Okay, I think we could move this margin. Now it looks much similar, and that margin is unnecessary, so I remove it. Okay, back to our home.dar. Here I'm going to refactor it a little bit. I extra method which call build app bar, and also I use this underscore before the method name, make it private. Now our code looks more readable. We have this build app bar method, and we have our app bar logic inside this build app bar. Okay, next we're going to implement this Go premium. Okay, let's back to our home.dar. Here I'm going to replace this center widget with a column widget. So, and also set this cross alignment to start, and delete this center widget. Instead I use another Go premium widget, which is a custom widget I'm going to create. So under this home folder we have this, we create another widgets folder. Inside this widget folder I have another file. I just call it Go premium.dar. Here I'm going to declare a stateless widget. Just call it Go premium. So delete the constructor for now. Also import a library, and here just place a text widget premium. Okay, so let's save, and back to our home .dar and into import library. So let's say you will be able to see our premium text. So we could start from this point. So first, I consider using a stack widget to implement this part because we have this icon, so we can use a positioned widget to position these buttons. Okay, and for this premium, I think it's a row widget. We have a first row and second row. The second row is another column widget. So this is our first column. This is our second column. So let's back to our Go Premium widget. Here I'm going to declare a stack widget for its children. And first we have a container, which is this black container, and I'm going to decorate it. So first, for the margin, I'm going to use edge inset or set to 15, and also for the padding, and I use the edge inset or as well, but this time I set to 20. And then for the decoration, I will change the color to black, right? So color should be black. And also for the border radius, I'm going to use border radius dot circular. Here I set to 20. So let's save. You'll see we have this black box because we don't have anything inside this container. So inside this container, we have a row. As we talked about before, we have a row, and the row will align in the start. So we're going to set it is cross alignment as well to start. Inside this row widget, we have a container which contain an icon. So for this container, we have a child widget, which is an icon. Here I'm using the material icon, which is icons.start. Also, I'm going to change this color to white using colors.white. Also the size to 20. So let's save. We have this icon, and I think the default icon should be white or should be black, so we're going to set to white. Okay, then we have at least a decoration. We use box decoration, and we can change the color to gray. Colors gray, and here I use 800, and also shape should be box shape circle. And what's more is this padding, we're going to set to 5 using this edge inset.org. So let's save, and you are going to see we have the same icon shown here. And then under this container, we have another row which is a column, but we have a little big gap between those two. So I use size box, set width to 15, and then we have this column widget. Inside this column widget, we have this children attribute, and as you see, the column also align to the start, this one. So we're going to change this cross alignment to start, right? And for it is children, we have two children, two different texts. So the first one is this Go Premium, and also a little big gap, so I'm going to use a size box. So height should be just 10 is enough, and the second text would be this get unlimited access into all our features, right? So let's save. And it's hard to see because by default the text is black, so I'm going to style it, and I use this style attribute by parsing our text style, and we change the font size to 18, and also a font weight to bold, and also the color to white color. So let's save. You'll be able to see our text. Same for the description text. So for the style, and I also use text style. For the text style, I'm going to change the font size to 16, and also color to gray, and also choose the 700. The when you move your mouse, you will see this gray actually come with different color. This 100 will be very light, and 900 will be very dark. So by default, the gray is 500. So here I'm using a little bit dark from the normal gray. So I save. You'll be able to see the text is coming up. Okay, so for the last part is this icon. So I'm going to use the positioned. Here I'm going to find our stock widget. Under this container, I'm going to use a positioned widget. And I set the bottom to 15, and also the right 15 as well. For it is child, I just use another container and contain our icon, and I use material icon as well, so it should be arrow forward, and I change its color to colors.y. And also for this container, I'm going to style a little bit. First, the padding should be edge inset.or set to 10. And the decoration, I use box decoration. Change its color to blue colors, blue accent, and also change the border radius to 15, circular 15. So let's save. Okay, now you're able to see we have a very similar in here. Okay, so next we're going to implement this task list. And for this task title, I think we could just place it under this Go Premium, and then we could use the grid view to render this part. So here, and I just place a container because I want to give some padding. So for the padding, and I use edit inset.or and set to 15. And then for its child, I'm going to use our text widget, and should be tasks, and also for the style, and I just use text style. Change its font size to 22, and also font weight to font weight 4, and let's save. And we have this tasks title coming up, and then we could implement the task list. And here I'm going to use expanded widget to wrap this task list. So under this container, I'm going to use expanded widget. Inside this expanded widget, we have a tasks widget, which is the custom widget we're going to create. So under this widget folder, we're going to create a tasks.dar. Inside this task.dar, I'm going to create another stateless widget, call it tasks, and remove the constructor, and also import the to your library. Here I just call it tasks list, then save, and also we need to import. Going to import it. Let's save, and you will see we have this tasks list, this placeholder. And before we actually implement these tasks list, and first we're going back to our models, and we're going to create our task model. So here under this models folder, I'm going to create a task.dar. So inside this task.dar, I'm going to create our task class. Just call it task, and we have a different attribute. So first one is the icon, and so here just use icon data, and we need to import library, which is material library. And the second one is the title string, right? Which one is this title? And we have, you notice we have a 3 color. This one is a dark yellow, and the background is light yellow, and this button is the yellow. So we have a 3 color. We should declare in here, and we have a background color, and also we have icon color, and also we have a button color. And you notice we have this add. This one is different than the style, so we're going to have one more attribute to indicate this is this add button. So we're going to have boolean is last to indicate this one is our last. If it is last, we're going to render list widget. Otherwise, we're going to render the same widget showing here. And so I think we can make it nullable, because for the last one we don't have an attribute shown here. And next is the number, so how many tasks left, and also how many tasks are done, also make it nullable. And also when you click, those should be a detail. And we also have another attribute called description to describe the task we have between those time slots. So I will write it down when we actually implement this detail page. So first I just put these here, this dot icon data, and this dot title, this dot background color, and this dot icon color, this dot button color, and this dot left, this dot done. So, and also this dot is last. By default I set it to false, and so we can create another static method. I just call it list of tasks, generative tasks, going to return a task list, right? So we can create those 3 tasks. So for the first one, and icon data should be I think it should be icons dot person rounded. And for the title, just use this personal. So for the background color, I just use yellow light. And for the icon color, icon should be yellow dark, right? Yellow dark. And also for the button color should be just yellow. Okay, and then the task left should be 3 and done. I just set to 1. Okay, and I think we don't need to implement this is last because by default you will set to false. So this was our first task. So we could just copy and paste and just change the second task. This one should be the icon should be cases rounded, right? And also change this personal to a work. For the color should be red line, and this should be red dark. This should be red, and this I just change both to 0. And for the third one, and it should be a favorite rounded, and this the title I change it to healthy, and the color should be blue light, and the second one is blue dark, and third one just blue, and also left I set to 0, and done I set to 0. So for the last one should be this edit, so we don't have any thing, so we could just implement it is last, and I set to true. So when we render those task list, if the is last set to true, we can render this different widget. Okay, so that's all for this task model, and we can go back to implement our task list. And let's back to our task.dar. So first I'm going to load our tasks list from our task module. We just create, and we access it is static method, which could return a list of tasks. And inside this container, going to change this trial to a grid view dot build. So we're going to implement this required attribute. So first is this grade delegate, and I'm going to use a sliver grade delegate with fixed growth access count. So because I want two widget per row, so growth access count I set to 2. Also I give it a little bit spacing, so for growth I set to 10, and also main access spacing also set to 10. And for it is item builder, when you move your mouse to this item builder, you will see we actually receive this context and the index. So we're going to use the context and also the index. Right, and we are going to return either this tasks card or this add card. So we have a so first we're going to determine, and we have this task list, right? And we can access to this task list, and it is last one, and we can ask if it is the last one. If it is the last one, I'm going to create this build add task method, which will return a widget. So I'm going to implement here, which will return a widget, right? And otherwise, I just return our build task. And here I'm going to pass the context because I'm going to navigate to our detail page. So I'm using the navigator.push, and I need the context, and also for the index, so we can access to the item. Actually, I think we could just pass this task instead, so like this, right? And we're going to have another method which called build task, right? And we're just going to implement those. Okay, I think the context. Okay, I think we need to implement this parameter. So for the second one, we can receive this build context. I just call it context, and also our task object have this task. Okay, the arrow is gone, and then we can just implement those two methods. So for here, I just return add task. Right. So and in here, I just return a text, just call normal task. So and we can save to see the result. So let's save. Oh, I think we forgot to set this range. So you see we out of range. So in this, we're going to set this item count. Inside this grader builder, the count should be equal to this task list.length. So we're going to save again. Now the arrow gone. You see we have 3 tasks, and the last one should be this add task, right? And if you add more tasks, this list can be scrolled because we dynamically render those tasks, right? So and we can implement those build task first. So for this car, and we're going to implement inside this build task method, which will return our task car. And first I'm going to use this container, and inside this container I set some padding. I use edge inset.or set to 15, and also the decoration, because we have this rounded border. So for the decoration, I use box decoration. Inside this box decoration, we have a color, and here we can access to this color, and we could use the background color. And also for border radius, and I just use border radius dot circular, and 20 is enough. So let's save, and you're able to see you have a 3 task car have a different color. Right. Also for this this outside container, we could give it some padding. I'm going to set to edge inset.or set to 15 as well. Maybe we could just set the horizontal. So I use this symmetric. For horizontal, I set to 15. Okay, now it looks better. And we scroll down and to our build task. So under this decoration, we could, let's see, we could implement our icon. So we have another, we could use the column widget. So the first column is our icon, the second column is this text widget, and the third column would be another row, and first row will be our first button, and the second row will be our second button. So here I'm going to use our column widget, and we set this cross alignment to start. Remember, those all align to the start, right? And for it is children, we have 3 children. So the first one is our icon. So we could use task icon data. And for this color, we could access to task icon color, right? And also for the size, here I just set to 35, and then we have a little bit space, so I could use size the box, and I just give a height to 30, and then we have another text widget, so we could access to task.title, and also we have a style, because by default we just have a very small size, small text. We're going to make it bold and also make it bigger, so we're going to use our text style, and we change the font size to 18, and also change its font weight to bold, font to bold. Okay, and for our third, so you can save now, and you will see we have this icon and also the title. For our third column, we're going to have a row widget, but we're going to have this gap as well. So I use size box, give a height just to 20, and also we have this road, have this children, and here you notice we have those two buttons, and the only difference is the button color. So we could make another method to create this comment button. So I can just call it build task status, and I'm going to create another method. So after this, and we'll return a widget, call it something like this, and I'm going to return two buttons. So the differences is the title and the background color. So for these, I'm going to receive the color, which is background color, and also the text color. So another color, so it's text color, and the third one is the string. Alright, so inside this method, I'm going to return another container. So for the container, it just have a border radius, and we could use decoration, use box decoration. We could change it color to our background color. The border radius to our just to, I think 20 is enough. 20 is enough. Okay, and for it is child, so we could just place our text. So for each child, I just use our text, and also style it and make it use our text color, right? So text style. Okay, I'm going to change its color to our text color. Okay, I think that's it. Don't forget to add some padding. So I use symmetric. So for the horizontal I set to 15, and vertical I set to just 10. And in here I'm going to pass the color. So I think it's task button color, and the second one is task icon color, and the third one is just the text. So here I think I just pass the task left. So let's save. You will be able to see our first button, right? So same as the second one, but we have a little bit cake. So I'm using the size box, just set weight to 5, make a comma. Okay, so another button, so we could use build our task status. And for the background color, another is the white, because you see all of other is white color, so we could just pass the white. But for those two, it's the same. We can pass this icon color, and also we could use this text, but we can just change to done. This to done. Okay, let's save. Okay, now we're able to see we make a very similar task card showing here, right? So that's for our task card. Next, we're going to build this add task card. So for this add task card, so here I'm going to use another library called dot border. So I'm going to import it. So go to our pub spec YAML file. After this, we're going to import our dot border, and we can close it. Just wait a few minutes. Okay, now it's successful. And we can copy this import statement, put on our top of the file, and also open here. I'm going to change this build add task, and we're going to use something similar here. We could use this dot border. So back to Visual Studio. For here, add task, we're going to return dot border. Right. Inside this border, we have a lot of attributes, and the requirement is this child. So for it is child, we're going to return a center widget. With the child is our text widget, which is this plus add, and also style it a little bit, make it much bigger. So we change it is size. I think it's text style. We're going to change it is font size to 18, and also font weight to bold, right? And so we can save for now. You notice we have this dot border, but we could even customize it a little bit. So we could change the border type to a border rect, and we could set radius to radius circular and set to 20. Also for this dash pattern, we could just 10, set to 10, 10. So 10 for the line and 10 for the space. Also the color, we could change to colors gray, and for the streak Y and set to 2. Okay, so now we save again, and we will achieve the same result like this prototype. And that's all. I think we finished this task list. So the last part is this button navigation. Okay, let's back to our home.dar, and under this body attribute, we could find our button navigation bar. And here I just create another method. I just call it build button navigation bar, right? And I'm going to create this method as well. Under here, I will return a widget called button navigation bar. So you remember, notice we have this rounded shape button navigation bar, right? So here I'm going to return a container. Inside this container, for it is child, and I'm going to use clip rect, because I'm going to change it is shape, right? For this container, we implement it is decoration, because I'm going to give some shadow. So for the border radius, we could use border radius dot only, and we only set to top left, and radius dot circular set to 30, and also same for the top right, change this to right. And also we have the box shadow. So for the box shadow, we just use box shadow class, and inside this box shadow we set its color to using the gray color but with capacity, and we set to 0.2, very light gray. And also spread radius, I'm going to set to just 5, and also for its alert radius I set to 10. Okay, so let's save. Yeah, you can't see any because we didn't implement this trial yet. So for its trial, we're going to use very similar this border radius. I just copy and paste it here. For its child, I'm going to use this button navigation bar, right? So inside this button navigation bar, we have a required attribute, which is the items, right? For this item, I'm going to create two button navigation bar item. Button navigation bar item. Okay, I'm going to create two of them. One is for home, and another is for the person. Right? One is home, another is person. So also we're going to give the label. So first one is home. So for the icon, I'm just using the material icon. Icon start home rounded, and change its size to 30. Same for the person. So we have a label. So label just person, and also the icon. So icon, I just change it to person rounded. Okay, and we can save. Now you'll be able to see we have this rounded about a navigation bar, right? But we need to hide those label. So inside this button navigation bar, we're going to change the color, background color to white, and also for show select label set to false, and also show unselected label to false as well. For selected item color, I just use colors blue, accent. Also for unselected icon color, I'm going to use colors gray with capacity and set to 0.5. So let's save. Okay, now it's much similar. And last is this button. So here I'm going to use a floating actual button and change its location. So under this button navigation bar, we have another attribute called floating action button, right? So for the floating action button, we're going to create float action button. For it is on pressed, just make it empty. And for it is child, we're going to use this icon. And probably need to change the size to 35. Okay, we can save. You're able to see we have this icon, but we need to make it a rounded circle. So we have this shape. We're going to use rounded rect border, and inside this one we could set the border radius dot circular, and I set to 10, and also remove the elevation, set to 0. Okay, and also change the background color to colors.black. Let's save. So the last one is move this floating action button to our border navigation bar. So here we have another attribute called floating action button location, and we could use this float action button location dot and center docked. So when I save, this button actually move to the center of our border navigation bar. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? Okay, I think we finished our homepage of this task app. We're going to finish our detailed task page in our second video. So please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, sum up my content, and also open the notification so you won't miss out to my latest Flutter tutorial. Okay, thanks for watching. I will see you in next video.